The Oredo field of the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), a subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (Nnpc), is delivering over 200 million standard cubic feet of gas to the integrated gas handling facility to boost the domestic market in conformity with the federal government's gas utilization agenda, which seeks effective utilization and monetization of the nation's gas resources. For decades, Nigeria could not maximally utilize its huge gas resource base, which currently stands at over 202 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserves and additional 600 trillion cubic feet of unproven gas potentials due to infrastructural deficit. But all that is history now, as the federal government within the last 5 years has enabled the activation of a gas agenda which is not only focused on provision of the much-needed gas infrastructure backbone, but carefully designed to achieve effective gas penetration to stimulate the national economy for higher levels of productivity.
This landmark project is being developed at a critical time in Nigeria's commitment to increasing our infrastructure assets. We promise the nation that we will expand the critical gas infrastructure in the country to promote the use of gas in the domestic market.
Over the years, the federal government has invested more and derived greater revenue from oil rather than gas. It has, however, recognized that the natural linkages of the gas sector to the electricity, industrial, agricultural and transportation sectors present the single most important opportunity for rapidly accelerating the nation's industrial development and economic recovery. In recognition of this, the federal government approved the Gas Master Plan (GMP) in February 2008, followed by the Gas Policy in 2017. The Gas Master Plan was set up to develop strategies for harnessing these benefits. The Nigeria Gas Policy is a policy instrument that builds on the policy goals of the federal government for the gas sector, as presented in the 7 Big Wins initiative developed by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the National Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, as encapsulated in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
Nigeria currently has an estimated 202 TCF with potential for up to 600 TCF undiscovered resources. With the undiscovered potential, Nigeria could be in the same league as Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Russia.
As the state oil firm, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (Nnpc), saddled with the onerous responsibility of exploring and exploiting the nation's abundant hydrocarbon resources, has left no stone unturned in implementing the federal government's gas aspiration holistically. Pragmatically, the Nnpc, through its upstream flagship company, the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), has lived up to its mandate by ensuring that the federal government gas to power initiative to increase domestic gas production and utilization received a major boost.
Our core business is NPDC, and in NPDC we know that we have huge gas resources. To monetizing that gas can achieve 2 objectives. One is that it can become a value for the company, and secondly, it will fit into the overall national objective of increasing production of gas in the country and also particularly into the domestic market. So we sought these 2 opportunities to align with the objective of government to deepen domestic gas consumption by making sure that this facility is able to transmit at least 100 million scoop of gas into the domestic network, and also to provide another 240,000 tons of LPG into the domestic market. The combination of these 2 is value for our country and value for our company.
With the commissioning of a state-of-the-art over 200 million standard cubic feet per day Oredo gas handling facility, and with the liquefied petroleum gas storage and dispensing plant, industry experts believe that the nation is on course to realizing her abundant gas resources. As part of Nnpc's strategy to support the gas aspiration of the federal government in increasing domestic gas utilization, it has embarked on the expansion of the gas sector footprint to stimulate industrialization. It intends to achieve this by delivering the massive gas infrastructure blueprint and improve domestic gas utilization to 5 billion standard cubic feet per day by 2022. MPDC is taking the lead towards achieving these aspirations by harnessing and commercializing gas production across its portfolios. MPDC is involved in several concessions across onshore, offshore and deep waters. These include the following oil mining leases: OML 26, 30, 34, 40, 42, 98 and many other acreages, contributing significantly to the nation's revenue streams.
The LPG that will come from the facility, which is almost 240,000 metric tons per annum, will be channeled to the domestic market. That's almost like 20 to 30% of the national consumption. So by putting that volume, technically you are now blocking the amount of gas of that same quantity that would have come from imports, or the one that you would have freed from the NLNG to go for export instead of coming to the domestic market.
Some of the notable MPDC gas projects include over 200 million standard cubic feet per day capacity gas processing facilities in Oredo Field, over 150 million standard cubic feet per day capacity Utorogu non-associated gas 2 processing facility in oil mining lease OML 34. The ongoing engineering, procurement, construction, installation and commissioning project of 200 million standard cubic feet capacity Utorogu non-associated gas 3 in oil mining lease 34. Odidi gas project in OML 42 with combined capacity of 80 million standard cubic feet per day. The President's commitment to boost domestic gas production and utilization can be seen in a number of gas projects such as the Escravos to Lagos Pipeline System 2, Obiafo Obirukom Oben OB3, Okpai Independent Power Plant, Azura Power Plant, and the Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano Gas Pipeline projects. These investments are geared towards promoting sustainable development and economic prosperity for Nigeria.
You will see a number of major infrastructure projects are going on today to ensure that gas is delivered into the domestic market, even for export. And making this year the year of gas means that you're going to do more than normal. You're going to reduce your carbon footprint. You are going to monetize your gas, and you can't do this except you have the infrastructure, both the transmission infrastructure and the processing plant. And I'm aware there are a number of projects that we are pushing and going forward: the AKK, the OB3, the F2 expansion, and many other projects that are going on in the industry and even for the export purposes. For instance, the Trend 7 FID will deliver more gas into the export market, but it will take out a lot of gas from the domestic portfolio that we have today.
The rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program with subsequent launch of the Auto Gas Scheme. Similarly, the commissioning of this over 200 million standard cubic feet per day integrated gas handling facility and its LPG storage and dispensing plant, which was constructed by Nnpc MPDC, is another milestone in the realization of Mr. President's commitment towards improving energy supply to the nation.
Once operational, projects launched under the commercialization program will reduce Nigeria's emissions by up to 13 million tons of CO2 per year, consistent with the President's commitment to the reduction of greenhouse gases under the Paris Climate Change Agreement, which could also be monetized under emission credits carbon sale program at a value range of up to $500 million.
The Oredo Field is an onshore gas field with few oil-bearing reservoirs located in the northeastern part of oil mining lease 111, about 34 kilometers southeast of Benin City in Edo State. The field was discovered in the late 1963. Production started in February 1996 from few wells. The asset has grown its production since then to 10,000 barrels of oil per day, with potential for increase. Between 2011 and 2017, MPDC has expanded the capacity of the facilities to handle up to 25,000 barrels of oil per day and approximately 200 million standard cubic feet of gas daily.
The concept is based on the redefined 5 priorities to each of the directorate by the Group Managing Director of Nnpc, Malam Mele Kolo Kyari. And part of this, our redefined priority is, as I say, to commercialize the hydrocarbon reserves we have. We have huge facility footprint in processing this gas, and we are going to make sure that we produce this to increase the energy sufficiency of Nigeria.
Because it's a priority project, the IGHF project was key in our priority delivery of payments in year 2020, notwithstanding not compromising our duty to our other vendors. So at all times, we ensure we have funds available so that the project is not lacking in any way. And so, not that we did it all the time correctly. We had times we did not meet schedule. But how did we mitigate those times? Because we had a good relationship with our stakeholders, where they had an understanding with us that since we always meet as at when they were able to be patient till the time we had money to implement. And all the staff of NPDC F&A, they keyed in to the strategic direction of the managing director concerning this project.
The Oredo Integrated Gas Handling Facility is located at Oredo Field of Oil Mining Lease 111 in Olobo community in Edo State, with a liquefied petroleum gas dispensing unit about 800 meters from the Benin-Warri Expressway.
We are going to make sure that the LPG from Oredo IGHF is made available to the public, especially the Nigerians that need it, and that will go a long way in helping our organization to achieve the aspiration of domestic gas utilization. So we want to make LPG available in all the states of the Federation such that people will begin to step away from the use of kerosene and make more use of the LPG.
The Oredo Integrated Gas Handling Facility is a waste-to-wealth facility that converts flared gas to valuable LPG, propane and pentane. The facility enables export of lean gas produced from the Oredo field and sales of LPG extracted from the produced rich gas. The Integrated Gas Handling Facility engaged more than 350 skilled and unskilled personnel at the construction stage. Additional 100 persons, mainly from the local community, have been indirectly engaged in economic activities due to the Integrated Gas Handling Facility works, with over 2.5 million man-hours without lost time injuries.
In the course of construction, we put in over 2 million man-hours without lost time injury. Now, to us, that's a great feat. Today, we have demonstrated that we have the capacity inside this country, and if we look inward, there's nothing that will be too hard for us to do as a company.
Post-commissioning of the Integrated Gas Handling Facility, about 100 personnel will be gainfully engaged for the daily operation and maintenance of the facility. This is in tandem with the federal government's commitment towards reducing unemployment and lifting Nigerians out of poverty in the country. At full throughput, it will dispense about 330 metric tons of LPG per day, which is equivalent to 16 standard 20 metric tons LPG trunks.
We are prepared. For a very long time, we've already gotten the approved list of off-takers from Nnpc, that's our principals. And we're almost done with the gas purchase agreement, which is going to be that contract between us and the approved list of off-takers. And so within a very, very short while now, we'll be executing those agreements, and then all off-takers will be free to come and lift LPG at the facility.
The Integrated Gas Handling Facility Plot 2 has a total storage capacity of about 4,076 metric tons of LPG and propane, approximately 2,600 metric tons of LPG, and 1,500 metric tons of propane. The facility will also export about 82 million cubic feet of lean gas daily to the gas network via the 16 inches by 20 kilometers Nnpc NGC spur line. This will further boost gas supply for power and gas-based industries in support of the federal government's industrialization drive. Bel&El gas can generate at least 367 megawatts of power per day and also ensure feedstock to gas-based industries. The revenue from LPG sales is estimated at 26.8 billion naira per year, and the propane revenue estimated at 20.15 billion naira per year. The engineering works for the integrated gas handling facility was carried out 100% in Nigeria by Nigerians. All site constructions, fabrications and installations were performed 100% by Nigerians. The success of the project has clearly demonstrated the capacity and capability of Nigerians in handling major engineering projects of this nature. By this feat, Nnpc and Nnpc have once more shown their commitment towards enhancing technological development in the country.
You recall during the course of executing this IGHF project, the community was involved in the construction. Most of the community youths were employed temporarily to work at the site. Not only were they employed to work at the site, they also, some of their local contractors partook in the supply of some basic items that are required during the course of the construction. So in general, we can say that the community has benefited by way of empowerment. The empowerment is as a result of one, employment, secondly, their contractors, and thirdly, it has opened another opportunity or doors of opportunities for the communities that they will be able to come into limelight, because the IGHF, of course, is a gigantic project.
As part of its corporate social responsibility initiative to the host community, MPDC built an ultra-modern skills acquisition center to encourage the youths to acquire relevant skills. An 8-block classroom at Ologbo Community Primary School was constructed to promote quality education as well. A large number of youths from the community were empowered on various vocations such as pipe fitting, welding, scaffolding, iron bending and carpentry, with over 550 scholarships awarded to the Ologbo community students.
The presence of MPDC in Ologbo Tutor has been very beneficial to my people in terms of infrastructural development, youth employment, and when there's youth employment, it helps to curb youth restlessness in the Niger Delta. And a project of this magnitude has actually brought a lot of development and changes to my community. We are all aware of how the world is moving away from crude oil to natural gas, and a project such as this gas plant being sited in the community, like I said earlier, creates a ripple effect of development, empowerment, and
As I'm talking now, they are connecting lights to Ologbo community through Osimo power plants, and some of our youths, about 26 or 30 youth, just passed out from training, which police have just trained now.
In summary, the NPDC stands to generate revenues in excess of $200 million per annum from the IGHF plants operating at full throughput and create massive wealth for the people.
This is a substantial amount of gases that we used to flare in the past. It was money that we were wasting. So this facility has captured those gas and commercialized them. And by commercializing them, they are raising money for NPDC as a company, and then Nigeria in general through the taxes and the royalties that we pay to the government. The IGHF facility commercializes more than 200 million scops of gas from just one spot. At the moment, we'll be doing gas to the power of between 150 and 180 million scops of gas. In addition to that, we'll be producing LPG, we'll be producing propane, and other knockout gases that we've turned into liquid for commercialization.
The facility will also meet the country's LPG needs by 20%, thereby reducing gas importation also by 20%. And the plant will equally cohabit side by side with one of the largest palm plantations in the country, with zero harm to the environment.